We are back again today to talk about what is a nutritious diet. We're still talking about that. And we're still talking about what the government believes is a nutritious diet or how they help us define that. And we're going to focus today on the USDA's eating patterns. We are going to be using real foods as examples today, and we're going to have a special guest. So today's class, today's video, I think you're really going to enjoy it, and I think you're really going to learn some useful information. So shall we start? I think so. Let's go. So this is our special guest, my husband, Kyle. Kyle, do you want to say hi to the class?
Hi, everyone.
He's really excited to help us with the serving size activity today. As you can see, he's wearing his vegetable gardening shirt, so he's right on theme. You can see why I married him. Well, you could see that before I panned the shirt. Okay, we're moving on. Okay, so Kyle, what I want you to do is you are going to guess how much of certain foods is equivalent to a USDA serving size.
What do you mean by USDA serving size?
To understand the term USDA serving size, we really have to think back to our discussion about the dietary guidelines. So once again, here are the dietary guidelines, the 5 main principles, and they're so general, but in the appendices of the dietary guidelines, the USDA and Department of Health and Human Services have these healthy US style eating pattern recommended amounts of food from each food group at 12 calorie levels. And these are a bunch of tables that, as you can see on the top, have a variety of calorie levels and then list all the food groups on the y-axis, and then across like the x-axis they tell you how much food you should be eating from each of the food groups based on the calorie level that you're trying to achieve. So for example, a closer view, if you're trying to eat 2,000 calories a day, you would want 2.5 cups of vegetable equivalents or 2 cups of fruit equivalents, and each food group has a number of equivalents you're supposed to eat. Which then brings us back to this, what is a USDA serving size? Another term for that is what is a nutritional equivalent? And this is defined as the portion sizes of various foods needed to deliver similar amounts of any of the nutrients that characterize a particular food group. So it's a way to kind of equalize different forms of food in one food group. So for example, 1 cup of fruit is equal to either 1 cup of whole fruit, that makes sense, 1 cup of 100% fruit juice, or half a cup of dried fruit. And it's a half a cup of dried fruit because all the water is out of dried fruit, so you need less dried fruit to get the same vitamins and minerals that you would need with a more watery whole fruit or fruit juice. So the nutritional equivalents are just kind of giving you a guideline for how you would consume different forms of food in a food group to be nutritionally equivalent. So for example, for vegetables, you might have 2 cups of raw kale or 1 cup of cooked kale, and that would both equal 1 cup of vegetable equivalent. So that would be 1 cup of cooked kale, 2 cups of raw kale to equal 1 vegetable equivalent cup. So as I said, each of the food groups have these designated equivalents, and so for the food groups, it's 1 cup of fruit that you're trying to equalize things to, 1 cup of vegetables, 1 ounce of grains, 1 ounce of protein foods, 1 cup of milk or milk product, and 1 teaspoon of oil. So I'm going to show you some of these now with Kyle so that you can see what these portion sizes actually look like.
So, are you ready? I'm so excited to work with real foods. So here's a peach here, and he's going to guess how much of that peach is equivalent to 1 cup of fresh fruit.
Okay, so Kyle thinks the entire peach is equal to 1 cup. Is he right? This is what 1 cup, a 1 cup measure for solids. So let's see. Would you like to put your peach in the cup? Aha! Wow, everybody, that peach was just about equivalent to a cup of peach. We probably have room for 1 more quarter of the peach, I'd say.
I'd say that's a half cup.
Okay, so why don't you take the half cup measure and see what you think. These are unsulfured dried apricots, so that's why they're brown. Okay, you're pressing.
No, I'm removing the air voids to only have the fruit in there.
Thank you. Okay, so once again, once Kyle knew the serving size, he had a pretty good eye. Good job.
Cover that much.
Okay, looks good. That actually is expired, so we will not be drinking it. Now, why don't you pour into this 1 cup measure and see how you've done.
Probably not good.
Ooh, it was a generous pour, friends, a generous pour. Just over a cup, probably a cup and a third would be my guess. How much spinach is equivalent to 2 cups of leafy greens?
2 cups uncooked is probably only 1 cup cooked. So
Well, they're different. Leafy greens raw is a different beast than leafy greens cooked.
I'd say that's 2 cups.
So he's guessing that's 2 cups. Do you want to put them in the measuring cup to find out?
Yeah.
So folks, this is how much was left, about half of his original spinach. And that on the food scale is how much is equivalent to 2 cups of leafy greens. So that's like a pretty good sized salad, I would say. Not like sweet green size, but good home size salad. Okay, that's pushing, that's pushing.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of empty space in there.
Well, no, you're breaking now.
Okay.
Okay,
So
so
I was close.
he was very close. He only had a few leftover snow peas. So this is pretty much equivalent to 1 cup of snow peas. This could be broccoli, this could be carrots, any fresh vegetable that is not a leafy green. 1 cup is equivalent to 1 cup of vegetables. Excellent work. How much bread is equal to 1 ounce of grains? So it's in ounces. And this slice is 2.4 ounces. So if we slice this slice in half, we would have 1 ounce of bread. Go for it. How much cereal do you think is equivalent to 1 ounce of grain? Okay, this is what he has for the oat bran flakes. This much cereal. Well, 1 ounce of grains is equal to 1 cup of ready-to-eat cereal. So do you want to check that?
Okay, let's see.
Let's see. Close.
I think that's pretty good.
Pretty darn good. Okay, so do you want to put it back on the scale correctly? So his piece of chicken that he thinks is 1 serving size is 6.3. So Kyle is 6 times over the USDA portion size equivalent.
Yikes.
Now he's gonna show us what 1 ounce of chicken would look like. Ooh,
Pretty good.
very good. 1.1 ounces.
Am I allowed to read the label?
The label won't help you, but sure. Well, 1 ounce of peanut butter is equal to 1 tablespoon of peanut butter. So you want to show us how close you got.
I think it was maybe a little too much.
This is sad.
I can get more in there.
Baby, it's coming off of the edges.
Okay, I had too much.
Yeah. I think you had about double.
No, I
think
like
you
that's only
had,
like 10%.
no. You have at least 50% more.
Okay.
And you can put your nuts. Do not put your nuts on the fruit skin.
Can you hold the camera level?
That's too funny. Please put these edible nuts onto the fruit skin. Ooh, 0.8 ounces. So we were looking for 0.5. Ooh, wow, that was really good. Okay guys, so this is the number of nuts that's equal to 1 ounce of protein food. That is a pretty measly serving of nuts. Remember, these are the USDA serving equivalents. They are not the amount you would necessarily want to eat. Actually graduated from UVM, just like all the rest of you. Hopefully will. He went to UVM and was an engineering major. He also got his master's degree in engineering. He thinks this much cheese is equal, here's my hand for reference. He thinks this much cheese is equal to 1 cup of milk. Wow! 1.8, not bad. That's really close. So this is pretty much equivalent to 1 cup of milk or soy milk. Round of applause for Kyle. All right, so those were examples of all of our USDA portion size equivalents. And remember that those are not how much you should or could or want to or should feel necessary to eat. Those are portion size equivalents, so we can equate different types of foods within a food group and then use that equivalent to form our full eating pattern.